Hello and welcome to the coverage of the World Para-Alpine Skiing World Cup here in Kranjska Gora in Slovenia. So we get a big hello to all of you out there joining us here for another fascinating World Cup edition. My name's Alan March, your commentator for the entire World Cup series, and coming out of this gate right here in a few moments' time, some of the world's best para-alpine skiers. If you want to follow all the action and exclusive content as well, at Para-Alpine is what you need for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you're following our Snapchat stories as well as the World Cup continues this morning here in Kranjska Gora. We're about -1 here on the resort, the Upper Sava Valley of the Julian Alps. The snow temperature a little cooler than that at the moment. It's very still here this morning. Quite eerie actually. The clouds are exceptionally low. The Pagajev route course, some 1,141 metres above sea level. We have a vertical drop in this course of 305 metres and a length of 959 metres. 39 gates for these athletes to work their way through, 37 turns as they go throughout. We have been slightly delayed here this morning. The athletes themselves have found plenty to do. There was a little snowball fight between a few of the Australians and the Swiss team a little bit earlier at the foot of the mountain, but they are ready. They all mean business here this morning. And we should be getting underway fairly shortly. So these should be the athletes in our vision impaired category. Melissa Perrine, Henrietta Farkasova and Yang Jae Rim. I can actually see Melissa Perrine outside of my commentary box window, which means she's nowhere near the top of the mountain, so that'll be interesting to see if Melissa's competing here this morning, because by my math she should be first to go. So we'll keep an eye on that situation as we go forward. So just moments away. As we mentioned, plenty of action to come. You have the standing events and sitting events for both men and women, as well as those VI events that we bring to you. Giant Slalom is the nature of the beast. And, quite an interesting battle in the World Cup rankings in the Giant Slalom. So, none of the closest to Henrietta Farkasova are here, so she has a big opportunity to stretch her 60-point lead in the Giant Slalom. The slalom event itself is bang level. That's Alison Bardier, our race director, overseeing everything this morning, listening to the athlete and coaches' concerns. So, less than 60 seconds remaining. As I said, I think you'll find that Melissa Perrine is not going to run here this morning. She's taking off all of her safety equipment right outside of my commentary box window. So the lady you can see is the current leader in the Giant Slalom. That's Henrietta Farkasova. So no Melissa Perrine this morning. So we're down to 2 athletes for the women's VI run. Henrietta Farkasova and Natalia Subatova. These two really been very impressive over the opening legs of the World Cup. And, the Slovakian dominating the Giant Slalom in Kutai, winning both of those races. He has won one and DNF'd in both of the slalom journeys we've had. In Kutai, there were 2 races there. She won one and went out early in the first run of the second. And we had a pretty similar story in Zagreb. But here, no problems as they come to the final stages of our first run of the morning. And it is Farkasova that crosses the line. So that only leaves Yang Jae-rim. Yang's guide is Koum So-ri. Time from Farkasova, 105.86. So that's not Farkasova, as you can see. Little maintenance out on the course. Everybody from coaches, athletes and event organisers all want to make sure that the run is as safe as possible. So a little tinkering has been needed here this morning. And you can see the guys and girls up there on the course just doing a little work. Discussions with some of the coaches as to what could be improved maybe. And Jae-rim didn't compete in Kutai, but she didn't have a bad journey in Zagreb. Some might say, though, there was only 3 athletes taking part, but yes, you have to get to the bottom, and that's something that Farkasova failed to do on one of her runs. So taking maximum points is all good and well in the races you do win, but if you fail to get to the bottom in any, it allows people to close in. There is Farkasova and Subatova. 31-year-old Farkasova, I have to say, overall in this World Cup series so far has been the standout athlete, as Marie Bochet has been in the standing. And you do wonder that when these athletes get to PyeongChang, just who can stop Henrietta and Natalia. Certainly the lady from Rosnava has been extremely impressive so far. Still a few discussions regarding the course, and a little bit of maintenance still taking place, so we'll try and return to the action as soon as possible. Don't forget that every single day of action in the 2017-18 World Cup season will be brought to you exclusively live here on the World Paralpine skiing page. So thank you to all of you who are watching. We're off to Vissones in Switzerland next. Tignes in France follows that. And then the World Cup final in February in Kimberley in Canada. And it looks like we might not be far away from getting back underway. Indeed we're not. So this is Yang Jae-rim. As quick as it looked like we might be starting. Korean coach just asking Yang to hold on a minute. You see the little microphones in front of their mouths. That's the way they communicate. There's an earpiece within their helmet. So the VI athletes listening intently to the guide. Currently they're trying to make sure that both guide and skier are as warm as possible. It is in the minuses up there. Yes, the guide is constantly talking. If you ask some guides, they say that they don't actually say as much as you think, but a lot of the guides admit to constantly talking their way through the activity, making sure that their skier is safe, has the quickest line possible. And the skill that is developed between the guide and the skier is making sure that the guide understands the skier's visual acuity and their ability to go with that. Go too fast into a corner and the skier can't focus or doesn't see the corner as you do, then you're in danger of losing your athlete behind you. Equally, the athlete has to trust the guide every single inch of this course. And for those of you that have gone skiing and faced a steep slope, the last thing you want to do is hit the deck. So imagine your favourite pastime without being able to see the drop in front of you or the bump or the sharp turn or an object. And that's what these ladies and guys in the VI category come up against. That is what the guides are there to do. As you can still see some maintenance needed on the course, and it is a little annoying to have the delay, but the safety has to come first. Don't forget, if you want to pick up on lots of exclusive content that you might not see or hear here in the live stream, then follow at Paralpine on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat. Lots of interviews with the athletes and the winners. There's a course guide for each of the venues. Mini highlights packages of everything that happens at each venue. So at Paralpine is the place to be. So the conversations are ongoing. As we said, the race director Alison there in constant communication with coaches and other officials, and it's down to Alison and her team to make sure that the right conditions are met And the right safety standards are kept to. Just a day in between the racing in Zagreb and here in Kranjska Gora. So a lot of the guys headed straight from Zagreb to Slovenia, which is not far across the border. You crossing the border into Slovenia within sort of 15-20 minutes of leaving Zagreb. And you're actually not far away here in Kranjska Gora from the home of the World Championships at the early part of last year in Tarvisio. Again, some 35-40 minutes up the road. It's a long old journey from here to Versones, though. Some 7.5, 8 hours worth of driving ahead of the team buses. You can see more work being undertaken. People have just come down to pick up some extra shovels and pieces of equipment, so it wouldn't appear that we're going to start anytime soon.
Hey, can you move just behind the banners? Thanks. And him too. Yeah. Please move. Okay, thanks.
If you're just joining us, expecting to see the action, we did have an hour's delay at the start, and well, it would appear that we're ready to go here. So Yang Jae Rim so away she goes then. Again with guide Go Unsuri. That time from Farkafasa was quick and impressive as always from the Slovakian. So Yang will have her work cut out. Now the back end of the middle section. Just a few more gates until they start to hit the long final drop, and they're just into that now. So they come through the flurry of advertising boards at the side, and Yang just having to fight to keep within the posts, and the gates are... She has to go through them. You can see the guide looking back and just talking all the time. And across the line goes Yang, 1:21.38. So, as I mentioned right at the beginning of the programme, no Melissa Perrine for Australia. Yang comes down in a time of 1:21.38. So this is Vavra Voronchikina, one of our neutral para-athletes. He's the second to have gone, because coming across the line in a moment is Ursula Maramon of Spain. Maramon crossing the line in front of my window, but we'll concentrate on the 15-year-old Voronchikina, who was very impressive in Zagreb. Into the final 6 gates. And this is Voronchikina, 105.69. Maramon's time there, you can see 117.48. So Voronchikina carrying on from where she left off in Zagreb. So Papulova, only the use of her left pole. It's exactly the same classification as Voronchikina. And down towards the final gate and across the line in 1:14.08. So with a 1:17 and a 1:14, that shows you already that Voronchikina has come up with a very good time here this morning. Corradini of Italy. An 8th place and a 7th place finish for the 30-year-old from Tarsulo in Katai. Various World Championship successes over her career. A silver in the Super G in 2010's Winter Paralympic Games. Not able to go with the pace of Voronchikina as it stands. This is young Mel Pemble. We were introduced to Mel in Zagreb. 17 years old. Enjoyed the first day, not so much the second. Crashing out in the first run. The first slalom. This is the Giant Slalom course for Pemble to showcase her talents. One of the developmental athletes for Canada to take a look at. She's well outside of Voronchikina's time here. And she will drive towards the line. Pemble 1:22.42. Next up, we're seeing this is actually Marie Bochet, the event leader. Turgeon should have been next into the final part of the course. The last slope And through the line comes Boucher. Check on that time in a second. It's second. 108.56. Now, the lady that's won every event so far is some 2.87 seconds back on Veronkina. Well, we were saying it was a good run. It's now a fabulous run. Anna Jochimsen. How will she fare out here on the course here this morning? 32-year-old resident of Utrecht. Eighth place in Sochi for Jochimsen. Got a sixth in the second event in Kutai in this World Cup. It's failed to finish in the first, into the final section of the course then. Jochimsen's run already somewhat slower. So Jochimsen in a 1:17.34. Next up is Petra Smazova, a sixth and a fifth. She's had better results in the slalom than she has in the Giant Slalom so far on this little Para-Alpine World Cup season. Okay, just the single pole in use for Smazova, and she comes through in 1:13.15. They just can't get close to her. Veronkina really has thrown down the gauntlet here this morning. This is Ilma Kazazic making a start. Should have had Elena Krata, but this is Kazazic, bid number 14. So Krata was a non-starter. So Kazazic from Bosnia and Herzegovina, born in Sarajevo. Kazazic. So she's racing toward PyeongChang in memory of her coach, who passed away in recent times. Kazadzic's time on the bottom right, approaching 1:30, will be outside of 1:30, and Kazadzic in 1:32.86. Kazadzic slowest so far. And this is Anastasia Kohorasheva. Kohorasheva, the final of our women's standing athletes to come. A few non-starters, but no non-finishers just yet. Kohorasheva. 21. Originally from Moscow. Did compete in Sochi. Got a 13th place finish in the Giant Slalom event. Comes in towards the final drop down. It would appear that nobody is going to get near that 1:05.69. So, that's already gone for Kohorasheva, another of the neutral para-athletes. And towards the line she comes then, 1:19.83. So very impressive from Vavra Voronchikina, one of our neutral para-athletes here. 1:05.69 is indeed the time that will win this first run, and she takes nearly 3 seconds of an advantage into the second run. Marie Bochet has won every event so far. You're allowed an off day, but she's just looked so good. Maybe weren't expecting it just here, but the 15-year-old leads the way. Smazova in third, Papulova in fourth. It's Kazazic, young Bosnian, waving away. That is the official result from a little bit earlier on, the women's VI section. Farkasova and Yang Jae-rim. And Melissa Perrine not starting the event, but there she is, keeping up to date. We'll have the women's sitting event in just a few moments' time. Victor Loesch, Pendergast, Impelen and Bergen. Claudia Loesch in Kutai, out of all of these ladies, was the only one to finish on both days, and in fact on the first day only Van Bergen and Loesch finished from all of the ladies we've got. A striking helmet for the famous Stephanie Victor. So a couple of bulls clashing heads on the top. It's a new addition to Victor's outfit, according to her Facebook page recently. And for those that work with us in Zagreb, you may note that Stephanie is no longer representing the United States of America. She's switched allegiances to Switzerland in homage of her husband and coach. And, will be looking to put in some good results in PyeongChang, a former Winter Games gold medal winner, of course. Various World Championship successes. And the 48-year-old is not done with the sport by any stretch of the imagination. Using those outriggers just to give her a little assist through the corners. You note they're just stabilising themselves and throwing the monoski in between the gates. Stephanie Victor will successfully, it will appear now, set the first time in the morning for our sit skiers. And that time is 1:19.39. It was done by the Swiss artist André Matti. The helmet. Now this is from one great to another. This is Claudia Loesch, standing at the top of the sitting World Cup points leaderboard. There's 2 races, 2 victories. And who would bet against her making this 3? She's going to be inside Victor's time. 1:13.06 is a shake of the head from Loesch. I wouldn't say she was ecstatic there, would you? So, Loesch, this is Victoria Pendergast, who we saw in Kutai but didn't compete in Zagreb. Spent a bit of time in London visiting some of the sites over the Christmas period. 26-year-old who's she celebrates her birthday later on this month. Usually from Sydney. Pendergast is outside of Loesch's time. Is she going to get inside of Victor's? Not sure. No, outside of that. 120.71 for Tori Pendergast.
120.71, third place right now for Victoria Pendergast. From Australia, 2 more races to go.
Linda van Impelen from the Netherlands.
Also representing the Netherlands.
(32 years of age). Linda. Last year's World Cup finals, she was clocked up a hat-trick of 5th place finishes. Outside of Loesch's time. She's going to be closer to Stephanie Victor here as she comes to the line on 17.68, which will put Linda in 2nd position for now. With, Barbara van Bergen left to come. Breathing heavy. And here comes the second of the dynamic Dutch duo in this women's sitting event. Oh, and it's an early exit for Van Bergen as she slides off into the advertising boards. And she'll make her way down to the bottom, but via the outside of the course. So that completes the 3 women's events. Run number 1 this morning. Loesch from Impelen, from Victor, from Pendergast. Loesch's run, 4.6 seconds in front of Van Impelen and Victor. Only a matter of seconds behind the Dutch athlete in 2nd. So Austria, Netherlands, Switzerland, and we'll move to the men's visually impaired event in a moment. First up should be Jakob Krakow. All these athletes with varying vision impairments. B1 to B3 is their classification. The athletes with B1 have a more severe impairment with a lower visual acuity than perhaps those classified as a B3. The time is manipulated with a formula to make sure there is a level playing field between all of our VI athletes, so that an athlete with a B3 classification, their clock will move slightly quicker than one of an athlete who is a B1, such as Zot Balak or Mara Kubacka. Jakob Krakow is right in the middle. He's a B2 athlete. Branislav Brosman is the guide. He is taking the 27-year-old down the mountain with him. Began skiing back in 1999. Coached by Roman Petrick. A multiple Winter Paralympic Games gold medal winner. Double success in, or triple success in 2010, including the Giant Slalom. So he has a pedigree in this event. Through the line they come. 102.71. So Jakob Krakow completes his run. Now, this is Patrick Hetmer. Hetmer of Czech Republic. Not competed on the circuit this year to date. And Hetmer being guided by Miroslav Makala. Miroslav taking through Patrick. We're nearly 4 seconds down at the split from Krakow. "34-year-old into the final few gates, a little wild with 3 to go, but safely through is Patrick. Competed in Sochi. Failed to finish in the Super G and the Giant Slalom on that occasion, but he did get 2 top 10 finishes in the Slalom and Super combined events. Ivan Frantsev, who is currently 7th in the standings. Miroslav Herreros is the leader of the World Cup on points so far. Hasn't actually won a race yet. Both of the Giant Slaloms were won by athletes that aren't here. So a chance for everyone to get some points on the board. And it's wide open for a winner. 108.55. Well, Frantsev. This is Gernot Morgenfurt. Becoming accustomed to putting in some good performances. Whilst he failed to finish his first visit in Austria, he was certainly much better in the second, coming in 7th, and in Zagreb started making podiums in the slalom event. So you know, his family watching on, despite being the tender age of 52. It's his birthday next week, you know. Just as we see him cross the line. 107.12, a little collision with the side netting. He should be okay with that. He's done more damage to one of the sponsor boards than he has himself, to be fair. Now Valeria Kozhubov getting closer to some of these gates than many we've seen before, and the speed certainly a little different as he comes out of the back end of the halfway mark. He's still behind though. Krakow's time is a good one. The 5-year-old into the final few gates then. Evgeny Goreyev will take him through in 107.03. So Krakow from Morgenfurt. That should put Koshubov in the top 3 as well. Now Maciej Krezel from Poland. Krezel's guide is Anna Ogazinska. Koshubov's time 107.03, so he's gone second. How can Krezel impact the top of the boards? 2 8th place finishes in Kutai. He's going to be well outside of the leading time. 107 gets him in the top 3. Now 8:45 puts him 4th. Now you see the first of our 2 B1 athletes, and you note that Maria Zatorikova is allowed to start in front of Marek Kubacka. Speaker to assist guiding. You see the goggles are completely blacked out here to make sure there is fair play. But Marek's classification puts him down as having the least visual acuity amongst our athletes. So again, for any of you watching on thinking, oh, I can ski, try doing it blindfolded with just somebody you trust in front of you, taking you down the some 305 meters vertical drop. You've got to have great trust. You've got to be a good skier in your own right. And there is a whole other element of bravery that we're not even going to get into. Kubacka coming towards the line then. One more gate. He's in contention here. 101.96. And there's a big applause at the bottom of the mountain because Marek Kubacka goes top here. He was 4th and 2nd in Kutai. And Marek's time puts him up high on the leaderboard. Now, Jon Santacana Mestegui from Spain. Extremely well known on the circuit. 37-year-old from San Sebastian. Golds in 2002 and 2010 Winter Games. He did it again in Sochi as well, in the downhill. 4th in the Giant Slalom out in Russia. Multiple World Championship gold medals. A little bumpy through that section as they hit the final sector of the drop. Santacana Mestegui, 106.35. This is Miroslav Hreos, as we said, the leader of the World Cup point standing. His guide is Maros Hudik. 2nd and 3rd behind Matt Marcoux on day 1, and then Giacomo Bertagnoli on day 2, and a real scary moment for Hreos as he pretty much had his arm down on the ground, but managed to get back in a great centre of balance and kept on going. Sean Pianta of Australia, Jeremy O'Sullivan is his guide. .41.25 is the split for Kubacka. Still the quickest time through there. Hreos went into 3rd position, so it means that Slovakia at the moment have a 1-2-3 here on day 1 in Slovenia. The first run of the Giant Slalom event. 28-year-old. 4 to go. 2. And across the line he comes then. 1:12.76 for Pianta, who crashed out on day 1 in the very first run in Austria. Finished 11th overall in the second of the Giant Slalom events in Kutai. Now Patrick Jensen, also from Australia. Patrick's guide is Lara Falk. You can hear maybe on your screens or monitors, however you're watching, and pick it up from the microphones around the course. Lara shouting left and right at the right moments, of course. And here comes Lara and Patrick crossing the line. 1:13.79. He's just outside of his teammate Sean Pianta's time. And a second difference. This is Damian Mizrak. Formation with Luka Dabaljak as a guide. He's always smiling Damir. Again, as we've discussed in other events, he's someone that's just about improving. He's well aware of his limitations when it comes to medals, and he's just slid off out to the far right-hand side of the course, but he's managed to stay within the gates. And through the line he comes. So, well, 1:15.51. Just on that basis, his performance on how close he is to the next group in front of him, he says. So, just on that, without mistake, would have been pretty close to the two Australians. Now, another of our B1 skiers. This is Zsolt Balogh from Hungary. Zsolt being guided down by Bence Boski, or Bence Boxy, should I say. Zsolt, 35-year-old from Tata in Hungary. Represents a club Holt Pont. Again, you might be able to hear that, the shouts and audio coming from the guide. Again, this is one of our skiers with blacked out goggles, coming down at a rate of knots without being able to see anything. It is uber impressive, it really is. Beaten at the World Champs last year, was 9th in the Giant Slalom. Oh, it's not going to be for Zsolt Balogh on day 1 though. Just running from the course. And, well, off camera, Bence Boxy is furious. He got to the bottom down the side, and Zsolt will just follow on until advised otherwise, but Bence came across the line just in front of Zsolt Balogh and just bent to his knees and let out a scream. Hwang Mingyu now for Korea. Some of these Korean athletes will be desperate to try and take podium places when it comes to March of this year. When those Winter Games arrive. Hwang is a B2 classified athlete. Slide through there. Of course, is very hard, according to reports. Across the line they come. Hwang's time 1:18.82. That gives us all of the men's VI athletes. And it's a good start for the Slovakian team. Kubacka, Krakow and Haleos. 1, 2 and 3 for Slovakia. How will that turn out at the end of the second run? Make sure you join us for all of the action. Don't forget you can follow us at Alpine for exclusive content right throughout the course of this World Cup. So into the men's standing event. Mitchell Gawley will be the first to go.
Also, the organisers are kindly requesting the member of the Italian team who has blocked the parking with the van to move it as fast as possible.
This is Mitchell Gawley, Australia's team captain for PyeongChang. Not sure if the entire team's been named yet. Couldn't find anything to suggest that, but the captains have at least. Gawley, the 26-year-old. Been to 2 games already. Gawley into the final few gates then. He gets the chance to set the time for everybody else, and it's going to be quick. 1:04.69, grinding to a halt. Takes a little tumble. There's a smile on the moustached mouth of Gawley. We welcome Martin Wirtz onto the course. So a 4th and a 10th for Martin Wirtz. Now in Katai. How will he fare on Slovenian snow? In the split, 43.07 from Mitch Gawley. Wirtz is outside, 43.94 at the split. Less than a quarter of this run to come here as he now starts his drop down. You see how steep it is from that last camera angle. Wirtz, the 24-year-old, needs a 1:04. He's not going to get that. 1:06.07. Thomas Pugh, one of the largest Swiss team. Thomas with 2 third-place finishes so far. Means that he's not doing badly in the standings. 120 points. Only Thomas Walsh of the US has more. And Thomas Walsh goes next. So a chance to send a message to the American. He's going to go top as well. 1 second exactly quicker and Mitchell Gawley. So here comes our World Cup leader, Thomas Walsh. Quick out of the start gate.
Time 1:03.69 and first place currently for Thomas Kuhl.
Field. Time of 42.45 for a split. The two Thomases battling it out then.
Thomas Walsh
22-year-old Walsh. 1:03.69. Eyes on the time. Bottom right of your screen. He's going to be outside. 1:04.41. So advantage Thomas Field at the moment. But here's a man who's been impressive in the slalom events as well. Alexei Bugayev. Consistency is what he's lacking. He's joint third with Theo Rimur at the moment. Bugayev won the first race in Qatar on the Giant Slalom. Didn't finish in the second. And that's what I'm talking about, his consistency. He's had a few of those. Did exactly the same in one of the slalom events. He's inside Field's time. Just the use of the pole in the left hand, as you can see. Real bumpy out there on the course. But Bugayev flying down into towards the line. He's going to be inside. 1:02.70, nearly a second quicker than Thomas Field. Can Bugayev find the consistency to put two good runs together? Dominated the second slalom event in Zagreb, did Bugayev, but a really poor first run in the first event meant that despite the fact that he was so much quicker on the second run of that first event, he just couldn't get towards the top of the podium after Balchet. "17-year-old burst onto the scene at the World Championships and the World Cup final last year. Had a great 2017. 2018 is the year he'll want to know as great as well. 1:02.70 slipping away. It's 1:04.11 for the Giant Slalom World Champion. So Santeri Kiveri up next. Kiveri was very impressive on the final day in Zagreb. Needs a 1:03 something to be inside the top three. A 1:02 something puts pressure onto Bugayev, but you see 1.41 back already from our neutral para athlete, the young Finn from Lappeenranta. Going to come through. It's going to be about 1:05.39. But that actually takes him down as low as 6th position for now. Marcus Salcher up next. 6th position in the second event in Qatar. So, no stranger. Marcus Salcher, the 26-year-old. Double gold medal winner, downhill and Super G in Sochi. Another, only the use of a ski pole in the left hand. Being encouraged down.
this performance here in Kranjska Gora Giant Slalom.
Crossing the line, 105.92. Alexander Alyabayev. Alyabayev split time less than a second outside of it, so quicker than Kiveri. Has he got enough to make up that second in this bottom section? He's not going to do it. He's inside the 104s though, 104.75. It's starting to be the average time, 104. 104.75 puts him in front of Kiveri in 6th position. So the top 5 separated by just 2 seconds at the moment. This is Thomas Grocha. Should have been Robin Kusch, but it's not. So this is Thomas Grocha. Four-year-old from Klagenfurt. Into the bottom drop. That single leg skiers uses the outriggers to assist. Tries to keep the body frame low. And crossing the line in 107.74. Shake of the head from Thomas Grocha. Jordan Brossan is next up. Brossan from France, another of their young team. Just 24. Spends mostly summertime in Grenoble. Been competing for France since 2014. Pushing on various top 10 finishes. And Brossan crosses the line here in 106.03. This time puts him in 9th position. This is Theo Riemer. Theo winning the second of the Giant Slaloms on the second day in Kutai. Surprised many. Theo not one of those that was surprised. He's 21-year-old. Knows he can go quick. Second in the Giant Slalom at the World Championships last year. See these athletes having to really fight to push down on the skis and then having to be delicate to get back up. And 102.38. Theo Gmer is on fire. Bugayev's 102.70 has now gone, and he looks on, and he will be told the bad news in a minute. Theo Gmer is indeed the new leader. So Bugayev budges along. This is James Stanton. Failed to finish the first run in the opening day in Kutai, but came in 15th in the end in the second run. 23-year-old from Rochester Hills. 0.263 the Wall Street worker, Martin France. One of the few skiers that we have that can't use either of his ski poles to assist, so Martin has to rely on his core balance and strength in the lower body. France, 33-year-old who's medalled at World Championship level and been so close at Winter Games level. He was 4th in the Giant Slalom in Sochi. He's a little off the pace here, 106.94. That'll put him down behind Martin Wirtz in 13th position. This gives us Niko Pujancic. With the Austrian fair, he's already 2.5 seconds back on Theo Rimmer's first run. Split time though. And you have the bottom half of the course to try and make some time up if you can. One of the guys getting quite wide for some of these gates, and 105.86, 3.48 seconds back. 105.86 will put him above Marcus Salka and in behind Santeri Kivri in 10th position. Andreas Kurz. One-year-old. Involved in a car accident in 2002 in January. So we're at the anniversary of that accident. Amputation of his right leg. Comes Kurtz towards the finish line. This is a debut World Cup season into my system, so Andy, as he's nicknamed, crossing the line. Kurtz's time 1:12.01. Now Jonty O'Callaghan, a double DNF in Katai, so that is the challenge straight away. Taking a wide berth on some of these gates and trying to stick it within the racing line that's been made by the 51 skiers that have gone before or thereabouts. Jonty into the bottom section. 20-year-old comes to the line. It's going to be a 109.28. We're moving to 15th position, and there is Theo Rimmer. This is Jeffrey Stutt. One of the nicest people I've met since joining the World Cup circuit. Always asks me if I'll say hello to his mum, so Mum Stutt, hello. A running joke with Jeffrey and Katai, because every time I said hello to his mum, he fell over on the mountain, so he's doing better this time around. Stutt. A few of his teammates didn't travel to Zagreb, and really having to fight during this Giant Slalom course. 1:11.02. So that the downhill events for him are just mountain time. Julian Ernst from Austria now. 24-year-old. Paramedic. His day life. Won't be inside the top 7 or 8 here, but Ernst crossing the line. He's got inside 1:10, very much just 1:09.99. For a paramedic, if you come from England, that 9.99 at the end, quite poetic. Now Alexei Mikushin. 2 13th place finishes, unlucky for some, but not for Alexei Mikushin. 19 years of age, a neutral para-athlete on the circuit, one of various athletes we have, skiing under the IPC banner. You see the skis just separating far too much to be a competitive time. 1:09.53. Look back at Theo Rima's performance. If you're a young para skier, just look at the control of the skis that he had through those final few gates, and just a little erratic from Mikushin. Now, one of our single leg skiers from Italy. This is Davide Bendotti. Bendotti, another of those that had 2 DNFs in the competition. Went out in the second run of the first competition on day 1 and then failed to finish the first run on day 2. A big yelp from Davide there. Really having to fight with the course. I mentioned earlier on the athlete saying it's exceptionally hard. I mean difficulty. Using the physical format. But Bendotti gets to the end. He'll just be outside 1:10. 1:10.63 for Davide. Should bring up Thomas Mulder. So Thomas Mulder, Dutchman. A DNF and a non-start in Katai. Finds himself 3 seconds back on that split time. 23-year-old from Rotterdam. By Falco Dietzma. He's going to come inside 1.8. Yeah, 1.780. For Mulder. Dutchman broke his leg in November 2016. But, he missed pretty much most of the season last year. It's all about a return for him. Michael Brugger of Switzerland. 35 years old. Brugger competed in games in 98, 2010 and 2014. He's going to be outside of his Swiss compatriot's time, but he's going to be inside 1:09, 1:08.59. 6:21 back. So Brugge's time is going to put him around about 17th. So there you go. Just behind Mulder, who went in at 16th. So still Theo Riemer from Bugaev, from Thomas Field, Marta Bauchet and Thomas Walsh. The men's standing event and the men's sit-ski events are the ones that really get the mouth watering, it has to be said, at the moment. But I must admit that performance a little bit earlier on from Vavra Vronchikina in the women's standing event as well was superb. So we'll continue to see Hilma Orvason, who is the final Icelandic skier from Iceland to come through. 1:14.58. So a tough old event for the men's standing event. Bugaev looked good, held on for a while, and then Theo Riemer came through. Thomas Field in third, Bauchet, Walsh, Gorley, some great names at the top of this leaderboard, and they're going to excite us all the way through this World Cup season. But it's Riemer that leads at halfway. Let's go and speak to our leader. He's down there on course side with Stephen Jameson.
Congratulations. How did that feel on the course today?
Yeah, it was a difficult run, I think, with the snow and the condition, but it was a good run. I am on the lead, so it's good.
And a little close contest between you and Alexei as well in second place. That's going to be quite close this evening. Are you looking forward to skiing again?
Yeah, I will do everything to beat Bugaev for the second time this season, and yeah, we will see what happens on the second one.
Well, we wish you all the very best of luck. Congratulations on the good ski. We look forward to seeing you later.
Thank you.
And back to you, Alan.
Thank you very much, young Stephen, out there with young Theo. And you can see the fight that Theo Riemer has got in him. He's very much looking forward to trying to take on Alexei Bugaev. And as he mentioned, for the second time this season, Theo would like to be at the top of the podium. Now into the men's sitting event. This is Han Sang-min from Korea. Korean athletes didn't fare so well in Zagreb. In fact, we had a lengthy delay on the final day to an injury to Lee Chi-won. It was a shoulder injury. Not managed to catch up with one of the coaches for the Korean team, a Scottish gentleman called Hammy. And I'll try and find out the information, but it was a right shoulder injury. He'd gone off to get a scan on that. It was just an awkward fall. It was actually quite an innocuous fall. And they are sometimes the worst. He didn't collide with anything. He wasn't particularly aerial at the time. He just seemed to slide from underneath him, but his right arm took the brunt. So we wish Lee Chi-won all the best in his recovery. His compatriot Han here racing down to try and set the first time of the men's sitting event. And he'll do that in a 1:09.09. The 38-year-old from Seoul, silver medalist back in 2002 in the Giant Slalom. How will that time treat him when it comes to the results at halfway in around about 20 minutes time? Roman Vrabel, a 5th and 6th in Kutai. Has he got a 1:09 or better? Certainly feeling the hardness of the run. You heard Theo say there, we've been mentioning it Quite a tough course. And, Rabel will come through much quicker than 109. 105.46 for Roman Rabel. The 26-year-old leads the way. Bronze medalist from Sochi. So he knows all about this giant slalom event. Now, Tyler Walker. If you want a guy who throws absolutely everything into every race, this is your man. 31-year-old from New Hampshire. There's the stars of that American uniform with absolute pride. Big injury during the Sochi Games. Taken to a hospital in a helicopter. Here he leads 104.51 from Tyler Walker. He has a point to prove in PyeongChang. 31-year-old has the lead for now. Alex Cairns, 25-year-old from Vancouver originally, now based in Squamish. Made his debut at the World Championships Panorama in Canada, so would have got a great feeling from that. Came 16th in the Giant Slalom during those World Championships. Disqualified from the slalom event itself. Cairns well outside the 104. He's going to be outside the 109 from Han Sang-min as well. So 1:13.17 is the official time for Alex Cairns. Igor Sikorski from Poland up next, who has had some slalom success in the last few days. Would have been disappointed with his second run on day 2 after winning the first run. Took a large whack after the finish line in that second run, or in that first run of the second event, should I say. But Sikorski is proving a challenger for those at the top of the sitting competition, but he's 0.97 behind here. So Sikorski goes in behind Roman Rabel now. This is Jeroen Kamstra, just 18 years of age, another that gave us some fantastic scenes in Tarvisio at the World Championships last year in February. A hat-trick of golds in the slalom, giant slalom and super combined. So this event right up Kamstra's street, but he's off the pace. Struggled in Kutai, 2 failed to finish runs, and here he's really having to throw himself down this bottom section. He was over a second behind Walker at the split, and he's going to be behind as he comes through the line. He's already up to the 104, and the world champion down on 108.02. Jeroen on a motto of you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a ski pass, which is a brilliant way of looking at it. Rene Di Silvestro, Italian, who came third in the second giant slalom event in Kutai. You see these mono skis, suspension at the bottom of them to at least make the ride somewhat more comfortable. It's not, they'll tell you that. But this is quick from Di Silvestro. Oh, it's that quick. It's 1/10 of a second quicker than Tyler Walker. He's just inside and he leads. Brilliant run from Di Silvestro. This is Josh Elliott now. Didn't finish either run in Qatar, so yet to register any World Cup points in the sitting events. Had some decent runs in the slalom. Can Elliott find a decent run here on day one in Kranjska Gora? 36-year-old former US Marine comes to the line, 106.40. That puts him in 5th place. 20 athletes taking part. Here's the current leader. Won both of the Giant Slalom events in Qatar. Had a huge smile on his face. Hasn't fared so well with the slalom edition of this World Cup so far. But Jesper Pedersen, just 18 from Bergen. He's inside, 0.15 of a difference from Walker. But it was the bottom half of the section that René Di Silvestro made the ground up on the American and dropped inside by just 1/10 of a second. 0.01. It's nothing, absolutely nothing, unless it separates first and second. Pedersen then, 104.50 to get. He's inside, 103.98. It's another huge performance from the Norwegian. Oh yeah, he says. Oh, and the disappointment for René. He looks on at a man that so far is brutal in the Giant Slalom. Jesper Pedersen with another fabulous run. Is he going to make it 3 wins out of 3? This is Marcus Grachterhofer. Like many before him, Grachterhofer's first port of call, but he get a finish in this Giant Slalom. A double DNF for him out in Austria. 26-year-old from Salzburg. Driving hard into the corners. And making sure he is getting through this course. He's outside of the times. Looking at least 111, if not 112 from Grachterhofer. Just inside, 111.94 for the Austrian. Johan Taboulet up next. The overall World Cup. It's going to be really interesting in this sitting because Taboulet being good at the slalom. He's in the mix for medals in Zagreb. The 36-year-old. He's going to be outside of 104 as well, it would seem. And this one's not for him. 108, maybe 107.48. 3.50 seconds the difference. Still a nod of approval from Johan. Now Niels de Langen. A DNF and a 7th in Qatar. Just 19. Niels, again, part of a group of young Dutch male para-skiers. Stoot and Jeroen Kampscheur as well. De Langen competed at the World Championship, got a bronze in that slalom. It was an excellent Worlds for the Dutch team. Just struggling in the World Cup at the moment. This is good. It's going to be outside, but it's going to be close. 105.12, just a second. 0.14 outside. There's a smile there somewhere. There's our leader. Watching on. Thumbs up to those watching back in Norway. It's got a good following by all accounts. Hello to all of those watching in Norway. I'm not sure how my Norwegian is, but you get the point. Now a double skied monoski here. Frederic Francois, a man that won his very first World Cup event, age 40. You can catch up with that in the highlights by following at Alpine. Again, exclusive content not available on the live stream, but Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Get yourself at Alpine. You can see the race interview with Frederic Francois, who of course made the highlights package. But again, these monoskis devised and made with each individual in mind. There's probably not two out there the same at all, and Frederic's certainly different to many with the double ski on the bottom. An early exit for Murat Peli. Haven't had many DNFs, and Murat Peli is one of those. He did exactly the same thing on day one in Qatar as well. And there's a shake of the head from the Swiss athlete who you can see he's visibly disappointed. Coming out of the gates, Christoph Kunz. Our first look at Kunz in this World Cup campaign. 35-year-old. Sure, wife Stephanie and maybe his kids Elio and Olivia watching on, if they're not school or nursery. Double Paralympian already. Gold in the downhill in 2010. Gold in the Giant Slalom in Sochi in 2014. Christoph Kunz has the goods. Can he deliver here on day one in Slovenia? Only 279 is the split. He's a way off, 1.22 at the moment. Kunz into the bottom section, little sideways there. Looking at around about 105 to 106 it would appear. It's going to be outside. It is indeed 106.01, just 2 seconds back. Again, a man of Kunz's quality just goes to highlight how quick this youngster is. Pedersen's time still enough to keep the lead. 103.98. It's tied after that. Di Silvestro 104.50, just 1/100th of a second quicker than Tyler Walker. This is Simon Wallner of Austria now. Just 4 more to come after him, including Dino Sokolovic, who has slalom success in this World Cup so far this year. Can he improve his Giant Slalom standing? Well, that comes towards the line outside of 110, 111.03. So that will put Wallner in 13th position for now. Danilo Rossi from Italy. 40-year-old. Davide Gross, the coach. Picked up his impairment after a paragliding accident back in 2006. Getting a little light just there. But controlling. Able to keep this coming. Through the line he comes then. Rossi 1:17.03. It's the slowest of the times so far. Mark Sawyer should be up next. That's him. 39-year-old from Melbourne. A couple of DNFs in Kutai.
Everything 1 hour later.
Wasn't on his own. Motorcycle accident on a farm back in 2004. Severed his spinal cord. And, spent 5 months in hospital after that. He works as a jeweller. And he's not busy racing his way down a course. 1:10.89 for Mark. Now, Dino Sokolovic, his 2 giant slaloms in Kutai were so bad that on the second day he didn't compete because he realised his monoski was broken. Since then, he's podiumed 3 times in slalom events. So how your look can change with one innocuous thing. Sokolovic racing down. Has he got the speed to compete on giant slalom as he does on slalom? It doesn't appear so this time out. Crossing the line, 1:08.80. That just leaves us, oddly, our last athlete of the day. Is our only home athlete of the day. This is Jure Slivnik. I'm sure there'll be plenty of support for Jure as he gets towards the bottom. The green Slovenian jacket on under the bib. Somewhere outside of the splits. But, again, each of these athletes very much has a different agenda. At just 17 is Jure. Working 2 or 3 times a week in training. Jure Slivnik comes across the line, 1:16.99. He's going to finish his day in 18th position, just above Danilo Rossi at the bottom of the pile. Just 1 DNF in a sit-ski event. There's a rarity. So Tyler Walker was pipped by René Di Silvestro by just 1/100th of a second in what was already an exciting competition. And then along came the Norwegian Jesper Pedersen, 1:03.98. The only athlete inside 1:04 on the men's sit-ski event. What a great second run we're going to have in the men's city event. There's going to be some cracking second runs in a lot of our events this afternoon. It is exceptionally tight in some of these competitions. Some good runs so far. Theo Guimeur looked good in the standings. So too did Veronikina in the women's standing. But let's go and hear from our sitting winner so far.
Okay, go.
Joined now by Jesper Pedersen. Jesper, congratulations, back on top after run 1. How's that feel?
That's good. It felt really good and yeah, bumpy.
Yeah, you say it feels really good. All of our skiers have been coming through saying how much that one hurt. Is that a tough course?
Yeah, it's really tough course and tough conditions, really bumpy, so you just have to hang in there.
And we just saw Dino cross there in 12th place. He went 1:08. That just shows how close this category is. It's going to be tough later on.
Yeah, the second run is going to be tough and I just have to do what I usually do, and yeah, but it's good that it's not so far between the people.
And how much does it mean to you to be on top after a couple of less good runs. Maybe you were unstoppable in Kutai, but Zagreb wasn't as good. Is it nice to be back on top?
Yeah, it's nice to be skiing Giant Slalom again, and Zagreb wasn't my place, but now it's good again, so yeah.
Well, I wish you all the best for later on and congratulations.
Thank you.
So there you go, Jesper Pedersen just agreeing with us all that Zagreb wasn't his baby, but here he is returning to the sort of form we saw him in Katai. For now, we're going to take a short break whilst the athletes recoup over the lunchtime period. Join us in a couple of hours' time as we get these second runs underway here in Kranjska Gora.